Hey, this is your next door neighbor. I hope everything is going well with you. I just have a quick message for you. Sorry for the shakies. Anyway, here's the thing. I am going to talk to you a little about pride, because that's a big thing for me. I have been humbled so much. Humbled, not humble. Humbled. You know, I used to be proud, but then I was humbled so much that, you know, I had to look in the Bible and see what is going on. What is going on? And first of all, I guess the message just simply is, the Bible says, humble yourself before Him. Another text that you want to know is, pride goeth before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall. So I'm going to use those two texts, and then we're going to show in the Bible how God feels about proud people. All over the Bible, you hear about people that were living the life, and then somehow things happened. And usually these things that have happened was always something humbling. I don't know if you notice it. I like to think of different people. Number one, I'm going to start out with Joseph. Joseph was the youngest child. Not the youngest, the second to the youngest. He was a favorite of his father. And as being a favorite, they expected, he felt entitled. His father gave him the best coat. All the other kids born before him doing getting that, he got the best coat. He was obviously good looking. Also, it didn't help that he started having dreams that was telling everybody that they were all gonna bow down to him. So, he just had it. And so what happened? He ended up getting humbled. You see, all his confidence in all the things, his parental privilege that he had, his favor, it didn't matter, because he ended up becoming a slave, ended up working for a man whose wife tried to sleep with him. He denied that, then ended up in jail. He ended up living in that, under those humbling circumstances. He ended up translating somebody else's dream, translating or interpreting, I should say, someone else's dream. And even then, he asked these people to remember him. And he's already 30, 40, 50, I think going around like 60 years later. He's finally getting to the point where he had to humble himself, and he ended up getting elevated, okay? That's one example. David was a king. He was good with music, really good. David was very proud, because he was like around the youngest son. And when you have your brothers, you have this confidence. Anyway, he was very proud. He went out there and he started doing his thing, and he started to get the accolades of everyone, because he went out there and he ended up killing Goliath, with just a little stone, whereas everybody had swords and they were afraid of him. So he had a lot of confidence. He ended up getting humbled. He ended up running with his tail between his legs, running from everybody, because the king wanted to kill him. He still had the confidence, but in a way, he had to be humbled. We have so many people in the Bible that you see, for some reason, the people that God used seem to have humble situations. We're looking at Elijah. Elijah had to literally, all his confidence in God, Elijah ended up having to run and hide, ended up having to live in the wilderness and getting fed by crows. That's humbling. You understand? What's the point I'm making? Nebuchadnezzar was a king, and he thought he was a god. He started getting all excited. him to humble himself, this man ended up for 7 years acting like an animal, crawling like a wild animal in the wilderness. Isn't that humbling? What's the point? The point is we need to humble ourselves. God doesn't want all the pomp. You see, we think that the pomp shows that we have made it with God, but God don't care about that. He wants you to break away from all your confidence in the things of this world. He might have to break down your car. God forbid, your children may have to be taken from you if you're too proud about your kids. Sometimes your wife may have to be taken from you. Sometimes, for you to understand that he needs you to humble yourself. He's going to bring you low so that you could be elevated, to be brought up to his level. He wants you to realize nothing in this world. He might take your house. He might take all your money. He might take everything. And I'm not saying he's taking it. He's going to allow it to be taken. Just like how Job had everything. He had 12 kids. All the kids were taken. It was taken by the devil. But the point is, God allowed it. And in the humble beginnings, to the point that it even messed up his skin. He was getting all, sometimes he may allow that you to be brought low so you could be brought up. So today I just want to encourage you. I don't want to stay too long on this, but the point is, whatever you're going through, it's for your making. It's for your making. And just trust him, trust and believe. He's trying to take you to a better place. Even Jesus was up in heaven and he ended up living down here humble. He didn't even buy a house. He didn't even have a cow. He didn't even have a pot. He didn't have anything. Why? Why? Because he knew that these things were a distraction to the end goal. He didn't love this life because he knew there was a better life to come. He left heaven. Hello? He don't want nothing down here. Is there something in your life right now you think is so valuable? Like an image that you like to keep, that you want people to envy of you? Is there something that you really feel is so important to you that you need this look? You need to have this Gucci purse. You can't have a Bobby's purse. You got to have a Gucci purse. You got to have a name brand. You can't have regular shoes. You got to have the expensive shoes. You've got to. Is there anything that you feel might not be as humble as it needs to be in your ministry in this world for God? If you do have those things, I'm encouraging you to let it go. I'm encouraging you to make your priority clear, that these things are not that important.